Welcome back to the Michigan Business Meet, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here. And we're coming to you from Lansing, Michigan, but we're going to run over to Grand Rapids, our West Coast, if you will. Paul Keifer is the president of Bank of America Grand Rapids. And Paul, it's good to have you on there. How you doing? Welcome.
I'm doing well. It's a beautiful day out here on the west side of the state. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, so you're relatively new to this position, probably not, I would suspect, to Bank of America.
Correct. Yeah, I've been with the bank for 15 years, but just took over as our regional president here in April of this year.
That's a fair amount of training time, so we're going to assume you're ready, right? All right, let's talk a little bit about Bank of America. I can't imagine there's anybody that doesn't know what they are, but you might allude a little bit to the structure because there is a president West Side, president East Side, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. So we go to market through our 8 lines of business, right? So you think of consumer banking, business banking, Merrill, our wealth management firm, and our private bank. But then we also have our local market presence, right? So as Siaj, my friend and colleague, runs the east side of the state out of Detroit. And then we have a great team out here in West Michigan as well. So the purpose of our local market organization is really tie all those 8 lines of business together, deliver for our clients, for our teammates, and for our communities.
Excellent. So beside taking care of your clients, you keep track of a lot of stuff. And, you guys just released your workplace benefits report. Tell us a little bit about what that is and maybe some of the highlights.
Absolutely. So the workplace benefits report is an annual study. So this is actually the 15th year that we've released it. And so once you get that length in a study, you can start to really track trends year over year. You can start to peg things to large, external factors and see how that impacts, folks' responses and what's important to them. But we're really starting to see this growing disconnect between what employers are seeing and offering as benefits and what employees are asking for, right? And so a study like this really helps us engage with our clients and engage with other centers of influence to start talking about, hey, here's what your employees are looking for, and how can we help you stand those programs up to them.
So from that, what was your biggest takeaway?
So my biggest takeaway is that financial wellness matters, right? I think historically, when we think about benefits programs, we always think about healthcare and the retirement piece. But 8 in 10 employers say that financial wellness is what's driving job satisfaction. And so when you have that piece of it as well, when you have a workforce that is financially stable, that has access to stable housing, that is going to drive down their stress rates, which is going to improve their productivity. It's going to help you attract new talent, and it's going to help you retain your best and brightest.
Paul, you seeing any, trends or changes in workplace benefits?
Yeah, so just from 2023, so 2 years ago to this year's report, we have seen the amount of employees who say they want a broader set of financial wellness programs double. Right, so that's a huge jump in just a 2-year period. I think part of that's generational, right? As we go through and we do some generational cuts in the report itself, we see that younger generation, they want assistance with budgeting, with credit management, with housing, and so they're demanding of their employer and their financial benefits providers to have that broader suite.
So, are you seeing any barriers? Exist?
Yeah, I think the biggest barrier, honestly, is awareness and engagement. 31% of companies offer some sort of banking benefit or kind of broad financial education resource. Only 14% of employees are aware of them, right? So that's about half of the ones who actually offer it. So a program is only successful if your employees are engaging in it, right? And so what can not only the employer do, but also their provider do to invest that time and energy and really drive that engagement, drive that accessibility. We know everybody's days are packed and busy, so how do we get to folks in a time that's convenient for them, or a location or a format that's convenient for them to provide some of those educational resources?
So specifically, how does this kind of impact the Grand Rapids area?
Yeah, so I think hopefully you've seen the study on LinkedIn that named Grand Rapids as the #1 city to grow your career. We're very, very proud of that here on the west side of the state. But when you think about what drives a recognition like that, it's about accelerating hiring, right? Talent migration, bringing folks and companies and employers into the city. We're seeing a lot of that growth being driven by younger professionals, right? So it's important that, as I kind of mentioned earlier, as there's that generational shift in what folks are deeming to be important in their financial wellness programs, that employers are reacting to that shift and evolving to that shift.
So tell me about how you can, as a bank, impact that Grand Rapids area.
Yeah. So first and foremost, obviously, we're a bank. We have clients, businesses of all sizes that we serve, but we're also a pretty big employer here in the state, right? We have 300 wonderful associates here in West Michigan, another 1,300 or so on the east side of the state. And so working for a big financial services company, I have an expectation to have great financial benefits, right? I work for a big bank, just like if I worked for Corewell, I would want, great medical and health benefits, right? So we want to take all those great services, all those great offerings that we have here and invest them in our clients and invest them in the workforce here. A strong community, a strong economy is built on people, right? That's why we're really looking for how do we deepen that focus on workforce development, working with, GRCC, GDSU, programs like student leaders, to invest in that next generation and get them not only work ready, but ready to be, financially sound as they enter into the workforce.
Well, let's keep being a positive influence over there. Paul Keifer, President of Bank of America, Grand Rapids. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thanks so much for the time. Have a great day.
You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman.